Everyone, we have an update from Peninsula Energy Limited, which trades on the OTCQB under the symbol PENMF and on the ASX under the symbol PEN, as a uranium company providing U.S. production and direct market exposure. Please welcome Managing Director, CEO, Wayne Heili. Nice to see you again, Wayne. What's your update today?
You. It's great. I'm at the site today. We have a beautiful sunny autumn day, and we've enjoyed really terrific weather up here. So it's nice to be joining you from away from my office, but at the site where all the activity is. I'm going to be updating the audience here on how we are advancing the world-class Lance project toward production. We have a tremendous amount of activity at the site, and I'm pleased to just get into this presentation and share with you, the key highlights of Peninsula Energy today and what we're doing as a uranium development company getting ready for production. We have some important disclosures. I'm going to be talking, in some forward-looking statements. I advise not to, do your investment based on my forward-looking statements, but on the strengths of this company. We are expected to be the next ASX-listed uranium company, and really probably the next uranium company in line to enter production with our world-class Lance projects in a Tier 1 jurisdiction, the state of Wyoming. Today, we're tracking for the resumption of production late in this year. So before we get started, we have a little bit of construction work ahead of us yet. I'll share with you the construction progress. The company sits with a very strong balance sheet and a good financial position. Our current cash levels, which were reported at about $100 million at the end of June, US dollars, are expected to be able to fund the construction and fund early operations until the point where our project, the Lance project, gets to become sustainably free cash flow positive. The uranium market is on fire again, with very favorable market dynamics, with future growth prospects for uranium and nuclear energy. Just going through everybody's projections, we're looking at 20 companies or countries which have committed to tripling the use of nuclear power over the next 3 decades. So by 2050, tripling the use of nuclear power in most of the Western markets. What an incredible opportunity for uranium producers like Peninsula Energy to be entering into the market. We have scalable assets, multiple growth avenues with our Lance projects and the sub-projects within that Kendrick and the Barber areas, and also our Dagger project, which is very close by. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that today. The update is really about where we're going with the Lance projects, but here are the Lance projects. You'll see we have 58 million pounds of JORC compliant resources, which makes us one of the biggest uranium ISR projects in the United States. Our Ross project is fully licensed. That's the area in red. It's home of our production facilities and a couple of well fields. We're estimating there's about 6.5 million pounds of uranium resources remaining in Ross. We'll move sequentially into the Kendrick area after that. It's a pipeline project with about 20 million pounds of resources in the blue area, the Kendrick area. Sequentially, that's where we'll produce from after we get Ross up and going. And then we'll expand our efforts in the Barber exploration project area. Today, Barber holds about 32 million pounds of mostly inferred resources, but has a tremendous exploration upside. So this is the project area in the state of Wyoming. It's a district scale project, 8 kilometers wide, which is about 5 miles by 37 kilometers north to south. I think that's around 24 miles. So it's a tremendously large connected mineral resource package that Peninsula controls 100%. Today, our activities are to move the project back into production. We've been transitioning from having a satellite plant facility, which is where you can load ion exchange resins and send them off to somebody else for processing to a finished product, to building a plant that's double the ion exchange capacity, so we can produce up to 2 million pounds a year. But we're putting in the circuits now to produce the finished dry yellow cake product. And that's really the storyline that everybody's following. How is your construction progressing? Are you on time? Are we tracking well to the budget? I'm happy to say that we are. Look, here's a couple of pictures of the construction progress at Lance. And on the left-hand side, you see a picture of the big laydown area. A lot of advanced work is being done, constructing pieces and parts and holding equipment that's being moved into the plant area. I took this close-up picture of the plant earlier this week. So this is a shot, of where we are. We have all the concrete poured. We have tanks put into the facility, and we have all the red iron, the building structure up, and now they're adding roof and siding to the building, and we're starting to focus on the construction of pipe racks and the interior pipe plumbing and electrical. On the other side, we have our mine, and our mine is really a well field. This is an in situ facility. We have completed the development of the next producing area, which we call Header House 11. It's part of Mine Unit 3. We actually have 11 drill rigs on site working in Mine Units 3 and development of the next Mine Unit 4 as well. We have a tremendously active group of people preparing the surface facilities. You see the shot of the interior of a header house. This is a production piping collection pipe, and that header house 11 is effectively completed now and ready for production when the plant is ready to go. So a great deal of work. There's about 200 people coming to the site every day now, working around the clock on the construction effort, getting us to where we'll be ready for operations late this year. This is our timeline. This is where we're headed. This is what we're committed to do. We started construction of the plant expansion in May. We expect it to be ready before the end of the year. In May, we also really started development drilling in Mine Unit 3, and now we've moved into Mine Unit 4 as well. We'll continue drilling both areas as long as we need to. But we'll be conditioning well fields, preparing them chemically for production. We started doing that here in the third quarter, really in early July. We expect to be preconditioning Header House 3 in the very near future, or Header House 11 in Mine Unit 3 in the very near future. And we expect to be commissioning the plant in the end of 2024. Our ambition is to be delivering yellowcake product to our customers by the end of the second quarter of 2025, and see this project into achieving a sustainable free cash flow positive status in the third quarter of next year, so just a year away. That's the presentation which I prepared for you. I'm excited now to also be able to just share with you about a 1-minute video of the construction plant, the plant construction effort, and a little more detail of what's happening. So, Ryan, if you could cue up the video, I'd appreciate it. This is the Lance Central Processing Plant as of September 18th, 2024. What you see in the foreground are 2 tall white tanks. Those are brine generators. In the middle, behind those tanks, you see some brown tanks. Those are eluent tanks. And in the far back, you see some tan columns. Those are the ion exchange columns. There's a corridor for maintenance. The 2 white tanks you see now are caustic soda chemical tanks. And behind that are the precipitation tanks where we'll precipitate the uranium yellowcake. Then you see on the end the slabs with the foundation piers. That's the area reserved for filter presses and the product drying area. In the very far back of that, you'll see a more of a lean-to structure on the far end of the plant. That'll be our yellowcake storage area. The whole building, structural steel is up. The roof sections are being put into place now. And this is the status, again, as of September 18th in 2024 at Lance. Okay, so I presume that I'm back on, and if it's exciting to me to share that video, because if you joined us at our July presentation or in August, you'd recognize that at the start of July, what you saw there was a dirt patch. We really had just started doing foundational work and preparing foundations for concrete pouring. We have come a tremendously long way in the months of July and August and here into September. People really didn't believe that we were going to be able to complete this plant construction in the timeline that we gave, but here we are, keeping the schedule and maintaining it. We've seen tremendous progress, and I'm excited to share that with you today. So with that, Anna, if you want to come back in, and if you have any questions, we'll close out the presentation with a few questions.
Great. Thanks, Wayne. Yes, it's always an exciting time for investors when a company is approaching the start of production like this. So what has Peninsula done to de-risk the production restart?
A lot of times people say, well, look, this is an interesting investment opportunity. I'd like to see you into production before we invest. But Peninsula has a past record of producing at the project. This was a past producing project from 2016 to 2019. And then subsequent to that, when we decided to change our process chemistry some, we went through extensive laboratory and field demonstration testing. We've done pilot testing in our existing facilities. We've gone as far as produced small batches of finished product, dry yellow cake, which we could test for impurities and make sure that our product will be sellable. So we have, spent the last 4 to 5 years completely, to the best of our ability, de-risking this project. And I think investors should have a lot of confidence in the technical capabilities of this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this was a really nice, thorough, and positive update. We appreciate you coming on. We've got lots of questions, but we'll send them to you so you can answer on your own. But thanks for joining us for this update, Wayne.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
All right, we'll see you again soon. Okay, stay with us. We'll be right back with Sucro.